You're listening to 102.7 Chop FM, and this is ArtsTalk. Good evening. You're listening to 102.7 Chop FM, and this is ArtsTalk. This program is dedicated to bringing artists to Newmarket.
Oh, yeah.
Not just musical artists, although we always have plenty of those, but any artist practicing any discipline, be they amateur or professional. And if you're in the arts and would like to appear on this show, then we want to hear from you.
We do.
Because we'd like to have you on this show.
We want you here.
And there are several ways that you can contact us. One is to send an email to newmarketartscouncil@gmail.com.
Or you can check us out on Facebook, ArtsTalk Radio, and send us a message there.
And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, more or less sharp,
More or less.
to hear good music and to find out what's going on in the arts.
Musicians are always late, right?
They always are.
No,
They're just not dependable.
Yes.
We are happy tonight to have as our guest BexSoulier. Am I pronouncing that correct, Bex?
Soulier, yeah.
Soulier.
It's French, but I'm not, so I'll take any
I
form.
like it.
So people have been beating up that name as long as you've been...
Well, it's kind of like it's a really old school name, actually. I had a friend... I dated a guy, actually, for 7 years who was in a band called Who Needs Shoes. And then a few other friends started calling them...
I remember that.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
Okay,
never
that
mind.
guy.
Never mind.
So anyways, basically I had a group of friends that started calling them Des Souliers, like the shoes. So because I hung out with them all the time and took them to all their shows and was pretty much their band-aid or whatever you want to call it, I started getting called Soulier. So when I went to go make the name for this, it was kind of something that I was already named from like 14 years ago, but I just kind of picked it up. I like the ring of it. Yeah.
That's nice. And is Bex a play on Rebecca?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. And
Very
one of my friends in like grade 7 started calling me that, and I was like, yeah, that's new.
Nice.
Yeah. Otherwise, before that was Becca, which I have some old friends that still call me that, and it kind of creeps me out. It
Could be nostalgic, but I think you suit Bex.
Becca. Becca's kind of cool.
I like BEX, Bex.
Yeah, it's way easier to spell. Yeah.
Yeah, and you slap an
Short
S
and
into
sweet.
anything is good.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's really happy.
I'm only 5'2". A short name suits me.
So, Bex, why don't we start at the beginning with you? How long have you been playing?
I've always been playing kind of some instruments, so I started playing piano when I was really young, but ultimately I've always been singing. So I grew up kind of in the church setting. A lot of my family, yes, exactly, a lot of choirs. A lot of my family is very musically talented. My grandfather has a lot of records, all Christian records.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Same with my parents. Like they have records of like a quartet that they had together. It was my mom and her sister and my dad and his brother that were together and stuff. That's pretty cool. Those photos are amazing. The chops my dad had were just brilliant. Like
Or he sang.
he does sing, yeah, but he also
Cool.
plays the trumpet, which is what my grandfather played as well. He played it in the Navy.
Awesome.
Which apparently is a big deal. I don't
Is it a
know.
big
Like
deal?
you had to be able to just read music off the sheet, which was a big deal back then.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of people that really studied music,
Yeah.
so it was something that if you were into it, it was something that you really had to work hard to be good at it
Right.
because there wasn't anyone that was going to show you how.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No YouTube back in those days. It's not so easy.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
for
was
sure.
music in the house, and
Absolutely.
and you took to singing at a very young age.
Very, very
Like,
young age.
younger
Yeah.
than 10 kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Like
like
Sesame
I.
Street singing?
Sorry.
Like Sesame Street singing?
Well,
That's what I used to do.
Yeah, I definitely did that. Like, I think I had like a Chipmunks like 90s album where they had like can't
Nice.
touch this. Oh. Yeah, and a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, that was their
Yeah.
grunge record. That was so cool.
Grunge album. Yeah, but obviously, like growing up though, it was mostly a lot of Christian music.
Right.
Like I didn't really get to experience a lot of secular music except for my older siblings. I'm the youngest of 5, so my 2 older brothers were like so cool to me. They were listening to like Van Halen and like all this stuff, and I absolutely loved it. And even still, like I can't get enough of like Hot for Teacher and stuff like that. Like to drive around in my brother's blue Firebird, like windows down, rewinding the tape
The Van Halen
multiple
tape.
times. Yeah, and he would just get so angry, He's just like, hey, can we listen to another song besides Jump? And I'm like, okay, Panama.
In the whole Van Halen discography, Jump is the one song I hate. I
Yeah,
love
because
Van
it's so
Halen.
overdone, right?
Jump.
But as a kid, like
Oh,
that's awesome. Like you tend to catch on to those really annoying songs that nobody
Totally.
likes as a kid.
So your older brothers brought a little bit of cool into your life.
Absolutely. I was
And-
told from a very young age, they said to me, they're like, I know you're not going to be like your sisters. You're going to end up liking good music because
that's
both
a
my sisters are
compliment.
kind of like pop-tards or like country fans or something to that extent. So
I hope
my
they're not
brothers...
offended by that comment.
Well, I don't care. They're not listening. But I would tell it right to their face, to be honest. But my brothers always had that, like, you've got that itch, you've got that. Like, you're not going to be like them because they were very kind of judgmental people and stuff too, kind of turn their nose up at a lot of people and that sort of a thing. So
We did that when you were younger, right? You had your little category you liked,
Yep.
and everything else was garbage
Yep.
except for your category.
yeah. So that's where my brothers, really brought that diversity to me because I was obviously listening to stuff that like my friends were listening to, like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all that sort of a thing. But then I had this other side of me that was like super into like Stone Temple Pilots and like all this, like
Nirvana,
much music.
Hole,
You know what I mean? Much
Courtney
music
Love.
was amazing at that point. It was all like
was.
Weezer and exactly like you said,
In the
Courtney Love,
90s,
Nirvana.
it was
Like
amazing.
Heart-Shaped Box was on every time I turned on Much Music. I swear to God.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it used to be cool.
They
Yeah.
don't even play videos anymore.
Yeah.
They do, but they like Much Loud used to be really, really cool back in like early 2000s, and now you listen to it and it's like, what is this garbage? This isn't loud.
Yeah.
This is indie pop.
Yeah,
No,
I actually
I'm
noticed
kidding.
that from a lot of like rock stations and
Right?
stuff too. When
It's
they
like, what
started
is dancing?
when they started playing like Eminem and stuff like that, I was like, I understand that there's a certain pocket of alternative music listeners
Yeah.
that might like that
For sure.
but I'm pretty sure there's a much larger pocket that doesn't.
And you're also like, you're dedicating your station to rock music, so why
Yeah.
would you like not
Yeah.
focus or feature the
Yeah.
bands that are actually playing rock? Anyway.
It's not so much sticking to like what you're about. It's about pleasing everyone that's listening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That is the
Please as
biz.
wide an audience
That's
as
the
possible.
Exactly. So if they can sneak in the odd song here or there that they know, someone that might be listening to a pop station might listen to, then it gets them more listens,
yeah,
right?
that's a good way of thinking about it.
Here at ArtsTalk, we're trying to please the 22 people who listen to this show.
22,000.
And that's all.
I think I know one or two of those people tonight.
So
Maybe-
at what
maybe
point
just
did
one.
you start writing your own music? When you knew you could sing and you sang the bands you liked?
Yeah.
But at some point, did you start writing songs?
I'd probably say like when I was about 9 or 10 years old, I started writing just a cappella music because I was basically kind of doing the dual track with the cassette tape. Where you play
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
record
yeah.
another, switch it over. So I'd write basically a vocal line and lyrics and whatever else, and then I'd go back through and I'd put a harmony over top of it, go back
Awesome.
through and put
Good
them over
for
top.
you.
So by the time I was done, I'd have like 7 or 8 other vocals, and you couldn't hear the first one that I did because it was just so piled on top.
Yeah.
So this is at the age of 9?
Yeah, 9 or 10, I'd say.
Well, let's think about
Yeah.
this for a minute. So you had to first figure out how to audio engineer that,
Yeah.
right? So how did you do that? Did you talk to friends, or did you look into how to make that work?
I think I just played with it, like especially at the age of 9 or 10. Like none of my friends were playing instruments or writing
Yeah,
music,
yeah.
right? So, but I was always a
I
singer.
definitely
I love
figured that
singing,
out.
right? So I had to figure out a way that I could still
Yeah.
sing,
So you
but
said to
write
yourself,
music at the
I
same
need the
time.
music to play over, so I need a track
No,
to
it's
be playing.
acapella.
for me to
That's
sing
why I
over.
did a cappella,
That's
was
why
that
you
I would
did
have that base of something
It was like
to start with.
pentatonics before they started.
Love
you started
pentatonics.
it.
Yeah. Oh, if only I could compare it to that. So again, growing up in a very musical family, as much as it was, really awesome, for having that as an influence, there was a lot of times where it was very discouraging as well, where like, obviously I love my
makes-
parents to bits,
yeah.
but there'd be times I showed them songs that I would record a cappella, like I'd kind of put it on in the car and be like, what do you think? And, my mom would be like, oh, well, you're a little pitchy there and you're a little flat there, but it's good, and, kind of do that. So as
good
much
and
as it
bad,
sucked
right?
having that criticism, it was great having that criticism because it was like, okay, like you're not always gonna deal with people that sugarcoat everything, right? Like I would much rather somebody say to me like, yeah, I heard you mess up that song, than to be like, no, you played great, it was perfect, you didn't make a single mistake.
Yeah.
Like I would rather the honesty, right?
I like a little bit of both. I like,
Yeah.
hey, this wasn't so great, but this was
Creative
awesome.
criticism. Exactly.
thanks.
Exactly. See, my parents did that to me as a kid, but when you're a kid and you get a compliment, it's not near as influential as when you get the
Oh,
criticism
I find
part
that
of
even
it,
today.
right?
Like, it's so easy to forget the good when someone brings up a bad point. Well, for me, I don't know. Some people are different, but
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, do you think maybe we should check out some of Bex's music and listen to
Maybe
it?
we should.
Maybe I
That's
can
what,
pick a
what are we
song.
starting with
Yes. So how it works?
Any preference?
here- I
here?
picked-
Cheeks jumps.
This is my favorite song.
This is Taylor's favorite song.
Can
It's
we
the only
listen?
reason why I sent it to
Oh,
her.
I was so happy.
I actually downloaded the audio off of YouTube because it's a video, and
Okay.
I don't actually have this recorded as just audio
It is
anywhere.
my favorite BexSoulier song.
So,
it gets stuck in my head.
With that being said, this is one of the first songs that I wrote on piano like when I actually started getting back into piano. So there was a song that I wrote 2 or 3 years ago that I was just kind of drunk on a piano bench, and it was just kind of with the sustain effect, and I was just playing 3 notes or whatever. But this is one of the first songs that I actually spent a lot of effort trying to compose it and that type of thing. So this one I find you get a lot of my feeling because I do listen to a lot of old-timey kind of a music. And so this one specifically I find has a lot of the similar kind of key changes and stuff that's in there. So
Very old school jazz.
yeah, a lot of people are surprised it's like my first piano song.
Yeah,
So
it's
this is
really jazzy piano.
Cheats and Chumps.
Chumps
Cheats and Chumps by
BexSoulier
BexSoulier.
on
Jinx. Arts Talk.
on
102.7 Chop
FM. That's right.
Man, we are
If I call you a quitter, well, I'm just so bitter. I just wanna pass on this round. Feels like I'm hellbound. If I said that I missed you, then I wanted to kiss you. Please rip these lips from my face. Just save me the disgrace of being another company, oh, it would be murder. Oh, it would be murder. So that it isn't me. Oh, oh, it would be murder. Oh, it would be torture. Oh, it would be murder in the first degree. Oh, I know I'd hurt you. Misery loves company. Oh, it would be murder. Oh, it would be murder. Oh, it would be murder in the first degree. Oh, I know I'd hurt you. Misery loves company. Oh, it would be murder. Oh, it would be murder. So that it isn't me. Oh, not me. Oh, it would be murder. Oh, it would be torture. So that it isn't me.
That was Murder by BexSoulier, and before that we had Cheats and Chumps, my very favorite.
On.
On ArtsTalk 102.7 Chop FM.
I'm Taylor Koss.
I'm Dave Peters.
And we are in conversation with BexSoulier.
Do I have to
So
say
Bex, that sounded like ragtime's not the right thing, but old school
jazz.
bluesy jazz.
Yeah, I do have a
piano.
ragtime song.
Ooh.
It's not
I'm
on
not
there,
surprised.
though.
So when people ask you, is this indicative of mostly what you do? When people ask you what kind of music do you play?
Yeah,
You say-
sometimes I find it hard to say exactly, and sometimes I find it hard to fit into certain shows put on for that fact, because I find a lot of the bands are like punk or they're hardcore, or you know what I mean.
Jazz
So
isn't something you really see in the local music scene too
yeah,
often.
so I do that. I mean, a lot of it is kind of the blues factor too. I listen to a lot of like Ella Fitzgerald, Etta James, and Louis Armstrong, and that type of a thing. So I really grew very fond of those, walk-ups and the chord changes and stuff like
The
that.
sevenths.
Yeah, I absolutely did. So a lot of time people ask me what I play, I'll be like, I don't know, like doo-wop, a little bit of like ragtime, play some blues,
Yeah.
like a little harder stuff. So it's kind of hard for me because it's ultimately just however I feel that day.
Where did that come from? Was this when you were a teenager you started picking up Ella Fitzgerald?
No. Again, like most of my teenage years were like punk rock, like all punk rock. And then I kind of slowly started getting out of that because I started missing singing. Was more or less how it goes. Like a lot of punk bands, hardcore bands, they're
It's
not.
shouting at punk.
Yeah, it's not necessarily something that it sounds pretty to sing to. So
Yeah.
I really don't know where or how it started, but I was at like Walmart one day or something stupid, and they had these like $5, $10 like greatest hits albums,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
so
yeah.
I knew Etta James did At Last and Stormy Weather and a couple other songs that I liked, so I picked up one of that.
Yeah.
And then from there I went to Ella Fitzgerald, Louis Armstrong, and I used to work at a tattoo shop in Barrie called Lucky Devil, and there was this guy that would come in all the time, Big John, and he used to own a record shop across the street. But he would come in, Big
Besides
John's.
the old Lucky Devil, okay.
Yeah,
right.
so it's across from where it is now.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
know
Big
what you're
John's.
talking about.
There's still a record store
it?
there, but it's called BJ's.
Okay.
This is in
Cool.
Barrie.
Yeah, yeah,
Near the
Clapperton
flagpole.
Street. That was a shout out. So he would come in, and one of the guys that I worked with, Brian Lake, who's in like a bunch of Barrie bands, he would more or less tell him kind of what he was looking for, and then John would come in with all these CDs, albums, or whatever else, kind of within that pocket. So I was able to kind of say to him, like, look, like I'm really looking for anything in this area. So he would bring me just albums of people I'd never heard of.
That's amazing.
And just show you, like, Louis Prima and, like, all these. Some of them were hilarious, like where I'd be like laughing so hard through their
Luke is
album.
amazing.
He is so funny. Just like honestly, like if you ever get a chance to listen to him, it's just like nam 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 nam. Like he does these weird like
Yeah,
noises and
stats,
stuff.
right?
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
very unique way.
It's very unique.
I've never heard it. I don't know.
It's
You know the
great. You'll have to
movie,
look it up.
Jungle Book? You ever seen
Yeah.
the animated cartoon? Louis
Yeah.
Goodman did the voice of the orangutan.
Yeah.
I want to be like you.
Oh.
Yeah, Louis Primo's
Very
amazing.
skilled guy.
But I got a lot of those. I even got some like albums where it was kind of the upbringing of the Atlanta like blues and R&B scene, where it's all these staple artists that really helped build that scene there.
Cool.
Right?
What kind of
So,
artist built that scene? Like, I don't really know what that's about.
They're it sounds bad, but they're all like names I can't remember in the sense that they would be like Jimmy John and the Alley Cats, or like something to that
so-
effect.
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
I
I
know what
mean?
you're
like
saying, for sure,
They're
yeah.
I love listening to the albums, but this is where I am as a fault.
Because I like that sort of music.
I'm really bad for knowing songs and not knowing anything about who did them, who wrote them, what album they're on,
So
who
always the most
performed
important
it,
thing,
whatever.
right?
Like I find a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's the album that had so and so in it, and he was only on that album for 3 songs, and then he quit the band." I'm like, I don't know any of that. Like I listen to the music for what it
You
is.
got
I don't
time for
necessarily
that.
care about who does it, or I don't know if that sounds mean in that sense, but I appreciate the music for
And
what it is.
obviously
But
connected with you very strongly, right?
Definitely,
It couldn't
yeah.
be what were we just listening
had
to?
the blues.
Couldn't be any more different than punk. So it gets you clearly
Yeah.
in some way, right? And
Yeah.
we've talked about this before. How there's stuff that's hardwired in you that seems
Yes.
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
it makes sense to you when you hear it.
Yeah, but it was such a starting point for every genre of music to come after that. Like, to hear the songs like Cheese and Chumps Murder or whatever else, like being a white female back and whatever, I wouldn't have been able to play that music. I would have been like the devil's music, or
Yeah,
whatever
oh, yeah,
else,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Go
And
back, yeah.
I've recently watched like the Buddy Holly movie or whatever, and like literally he was one of the first white artists, to play in front of black people, where it was like, where they accepted him, you know what I mean? Like everyone went silent when he walked on stage,
Yeah.
because it was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
So it was really that big crossover. So a lot of things come from that, and I find a lot of things too, like I'm a huge disco fan. A lot of things come from disco. Like anytime I'm listening a lot of modern day music, Black Eyed Peas, this or that, they've got these amazing disco beats. And then I have people that are like, oh, I hate disco. I'm like, we just listened to disco for 2 hours.
Yeah, you've just been loving disco.
Exactly. So a lot of the time people like have these songs like, yeah, like GCD, I get it, like that's a cool song, but that too was a song that was written back in this day where it was
GCD?
not acceptable. No, I'm saying the chords, GCD.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
like an acronym of this like popular band I don't know about. Good Charlotte. Duh, no.
Yeah, but a lot of these people, like I hate to say it, a lot of people think they write original music, and it's not that you write original music, it's the spin that you put on it personally.
Exactly.
All of these chords have been done.
How many bands? Like, yeah, there's an infinite number of songs that have already been written. How can you be writing something? It's
Exactly.
very,
So it's how you put yourself into it. So I really appreciate a lot of old music for that, because it was pure.
Yes.
There wasn't anybody before them that did that.
which makes them pretty special for doing it, right?
Absolutely.
And,
They weren't going into recording studios and recording 7 tracks of a harmony and then adding this, adding that.
Right?
It was all
It
live
was
off the
live
floor.
off the floor.
You hear their character, you hear them laugh, you
and
hear
you
them
see the
mess up.
mistakes, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
beautiful. That's
It
ultimately
is.
what I love most about Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong
Billie
together.
Holiday? I'm
I love
huge
Billie
on Billie
Holiday.
Holiday,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Very cool.
Loretta Lynn. I love a lot of that old stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Where you can pick up the chemistry between Armstrong and
it's-
when they're
Ella Fitzgerald. Oh, they're beautiful. Like literally, they laugh at parts when they mess. She even has parts where she kind of mimics his voice and stuff. Like, oh yeah.
That's
And
so
it's like she
awesome.
and you can tell it's that moment on stage where they're both laughing and having a
Yeah,
good time.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I find people, nowadays are so concerned with just making everything perfect that it loses that, authenticity to it, where
Yeah.
it just becomes more what you think people want to hear as opposed to what you want to produce.
It's a good thing to remember, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and because technical perfection is possible now with the
Absolutely.
use of digital
And
media.
auto-tune,
Also, there's an expectation of it as
GarageBand.
well, a little bit.
Right,
Like,
but it sucks the soul out of it a little
it
bit.
can.
It definitely does.
Definitely.
It definitely does. Like I have more than I'd probably say almost every song that I've posted has mistakes in it. And there's
But no
points
one
that I
knows
know,
that, right?
and
Yeah,
and that's the thing you gotta let go of, right? Like a lot of the times when I'm on stage, I'll laugh afterwards and say I forgot, I messed up this and messed up that, and one of my friends specifically is like, you shouldn't call attention to it,
yeah, no,
Yeah,
you shouldn't.
Nobody
because
knew but you.
I know, but like at the end of the song, I'll be like, whoa, thanks for holding in there with me, guys, and I like to laugh or poke fun at myself
Yeah.
for doing something. It makes me
Yeah.
more comfortable. Kind of makes the shake go away
then.
when you fessed up.
It makes
if
you
people
feel
laugh
the
with
same
you,
level or
yeah,
something.
you feel like you're still entertaining, but.
What kind of audiences are you attracting to this music? Is it a mixed bag, ages and types that are coming to hear you?
It's I find like I seem to get a lot of like bitter women.
Can I
Which
just say,
is
though,
funny because,
you
like,
or someone called you Bitter Bex, and I was like, I love it.
Yeah.
Because Bitter
'Cause the
Ballads was
lyrics
your
are a little
album.
angry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like the tone, it's like that old school, like I don't say heartbroken,
blues.
heart wrenching. Yeah, it's the blues, and it does have this bitter vibe to it, but not in a bad. Like obviously, I'm not
I
saying
think
about it,
that,
it's
that
like-
kind of comes into my personality a bit too because I'm a very blunt person a lot of the time, and you know, I've actually
You definitely
lost
don't
friends
sugarcoat
because
things.
I've definitely lost friends because I haven't considered everybody's feelings in the room when I've mentioned something. But so I think that comes out a
like
lot
it
in
for
my
it.
songs where it's kind of just like, yep, that's how it is.
Yeah.
So what? Like, I'm not
good.
necessarily writing about a soft breeze and the dandelions and the wind on a sunny day. Like, that's not. I'm not that kind of artistic. It's very matter of fact. There's not a lot of guessing to what my songs are about.
It's honest and it's authentic,
Yeah.
and that's something
That's
that you
what the
don't
blues is,
see
right?
all the time or hear all the time.
Yeah.
Although
Yes.
we attributed that quote, 3 chords and the truth, to the blues, but it's actually country. But country is
It goes everywhere.
There's a
That
lot of
version of
genres
the
with 3
blues.
chords. Yeah, a lot.
Rock is that too.
And when you
Yeah.
really start to study them, like you
Ramones.
could literally go on Google right now and search the progression for gospel. You could search a progression for this, for that, and all they'll tell you is like the intervals between the chords, and that's it. Now you got a
1, 4,
blues song,
5.
right? 12-bar bruise or whatever. Like how many people did that? Like I think Etta James has that in like 6 of her songs.
Probably.
Not even actually.
This is ArtsTalk on 102.7 Chop FM. We're in conversation with BexSoulier. You're holding a turquoise ukulele.
It's my new one actually.
pretty.
I know it has a shark on
I'm
it.
gonna take a picture and post it on
Yeah, I think
ArtsTalk.
you
So
should.
check us out on Facebook for
Because you've
that.
got to see this little uke. We're dying to hear what you're planning on doing with this ukulele, Bex. What's the plan here?
Again, this kind of goes to the bluesy feel, which to me seems funny to play on ukulele because it's kind of so
got this
Hawaiian
bright
and
and
beachy
happy,
and
feel, right?
exactly. This is a song I wrote, and I'd probably say beginning of the summer that I've kind of tweaked here and there. I probably didn't spend enough time practicing tonight as I should have, but
It's gonna be that honest and
like I
authentic
said, you're
kind
gonna
of thing.
you're gonna hear me laugh and have fun with it and
ArtsTalk original
whatever else.
with BexSoulier.
Yeah,
on
there's
102.7.
there's only been clips of this posted. I've never actually posted the full song. So
All right, let's hear it.
well, I'm hurting my back carrying your weight. Can't you see the sweat pouring down my face and my legs are about to break? Oh, can you stop coming around so I can put you down? Well, I'm getting older by the minute when I spend my time with you in it. Goddamn, all the stress that you put me through, and I can't carry you no more. Oh, I should stop coming around so I can put you down. All right. Oh, I'm sitting down. Oh, I'm dropping out. Oh, how I wish I'd never taken those clothes off. Oh, I'll just shout and I'll sing too loud about something that'll probably be the death of me. Oh, it'll be the death of me. Oh, it'll be the death of me. Whoa, yeah. Oh, can you stop coming around so I can put you down? Oh, can you stop coming around so I can put let you down. You hear me smoke my head off the microphone
You're
there?
a good girl.
Good thing there's
that
foam
wasn't a
on
kick
this.
drum, that was Bex's head.
I think maybe that whiskey sour made my playing a bit more aggressive.
Wow.
Don't tell the audience our secrets.
BexSoulier.
So we found this wonderful place down the street.
Lil Brew House. We love you at Lil Brew
We
House.
love you, little Brooks. That's some skills. Some
Serious.
skills.
That
Again,
I don't know
that's
what the
a-
right word is. The roar. That like what's? I can't even do it. I don't know how.
Honestly.
Amazing.
It's the same thing as in Silent L too.
Did you take some lessons for that? Did you
No.
do that? No?
I downloaded an app that taught you how to play ukulele in 5
No, I
days.
meant the vocal. I meant have you
Oh,
taken singing
vocal?
lessons?
Absolutely not. No, that was just, like I said, my parents were always singers, so we would be standing in church singing hymnals. My mom would take the alto part, my dad would take the bass part, and so I'd always listen to harmonies and kind of the build of it and that type of a thing.
Do you know what type of voice you have? Like I never really hear people say alto or tenor. But
I'm alto.
So you're an alto?
Absolutely, yeah. Alto, dip into tenor. I can do a bit of
I was gonna say
soprano.
I feel like you can do some pretty high stuff too.
Yeah, I can go really low.
Yeah?
That
Awesome.
was
Nice.
a fairly low register, and
Yeah.
you were singing in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bluesy.
Yeah, I actually get that a lot, especially from some of my guy friends. You know, they're like, "Why don't you sing higher? Why don't
Really?
you sing like a girl?" Yeah, I know. I think
I
it's
think
funny.
you have
I think
both. Like
well,
the-
every girl sings higher, right?
Like,
Like,
that's
whatever.
yeah, no, it's definitely very.
But when I get to those higher notes, though, that's where I have to like give it,
Yeah.
or I have to go completely to a falsetto, right?
yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. I'm more on the
Sometimes that's a
alto
hit or
side,
miss.
too, for sure.
Yeah, no,
Definitely
definitely you
not
are.
a
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, very impressive. Really,
Yeah.
really strong set of pipes.
Oh yes,
And no training. You've
cool.
had no vocal training.
No, absolutely not.
it's amazing.
No,
Wow.
like I said, I took a little bit of piano lessons. That's as far as I've gone. I mean, I did like vocal music in school, but it was so remedial for me that I would literally the last music course I took like in high school, or I think it was in grade 11, when I was like pretty hardcore punk rock, by the way.
Probably. Yeah.
So I had this teacher that instead of us singing or whatever else, he would just talk through the class, right? Every day would just talk about his life and stuff, and it was like, okay, well, pretty sure I took this class because we're gonna sing and stuff. So one day I remember walking in specifically, and I said to him like, "Are we gonna sing today?" Like all excited, and he's like, "You know what? I run the class. I will choose what we do. Why don't you go wait out in the hallway?" And I was like, okay. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go for a smoke. I'm gonna go see what my friends are doing. Just a little tour around
Go
the school.
sing in the smoking section.
Yeah, and then the days that I was in class, he had me teaching harmony parts that I wrote to like half of the class because because I wouldn't sing the melody with everyone else. I'd always pick a harmony because
Yeah.
I'm instantly a harmonizer. Like if I could pick anything, I would I know it sounds weird, but I would rather do backup vocals than doing
Cool.
main vocals. There's
a
something
total
about a harmony.
skill, though. Like,
it's something
people-
that harmony adds to it. That's like
Yeah, it fills it up. Like it boosts it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it
Yeah.
takes a skill to be able to harmonize. Like, I don't find it very easy to just pick up a harmony. Sometimes it comes
No.
naturally, and sometimes it's like.
Nor is it
ooh.
easy to sing with someone who's not used to having someone harmonize,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Like, I can't count how many times I'd be singing with somebody and I'd sing the harmony, and all of a sudden that person singing the melody is
Like,
singing
so
my
sing-
part.
yeah.
So then I go back to
Yeah.
their part, and now they're back to that, and now I'm back up to this, and so like afterwards it's like,
It's
dude,
like, a
like
game of chase.
Totally.
so a lot of those people, I'm like, have you ever done rounds?
Oh, like the
Row,
Mary
row.
had- yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
No,
where
I
you
hear.
start, like that is one thing I think is super important for anybody that wants to get used to singing with somebody else, being able to ignore them.
Yes.
I haven't thought
Hear
about
them, but ignore
rounds
them.
in a long time. And doing,
Yeah.
I remember in class.
Oh man, don't throw your junk in
Should
my
we do it?
backyard. So
Can we do it?
What do you want to do?
Row, row your boat gently down the stream.
row your boat gently down the
Merrily,
stream.
merrily,
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 merrily, merrily, merrily, life is but a dream. Row your boat gently. So that was what car trips were like as a kid.
Awesome.
We would do that, or we'd do
Wow.
like dream, 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 and like split off into like
Oh, I
3,
love
4 different
it.
harmonies.
You guys were like that family, except I
Disney.
hope your dad wasn't as mad. You know in Step Brothers when they like do like that like
Oh yeah.
when he's like, no, you're not doing that harmony right. I
Yeah.
hope it wasn't like that.
No,
intense.
no. Although this past this summer I went to the cottage and my parents decided like, oh, you want to sing this song? And I was like, sure. But now I've kind of got this solo aspect to me, so I'm trying to find some cool little bluesy harmony to do over top. And my mom just stopped and just looked at me and she goes, well, you can't make stuff up, you know.
Sure you
This
can.
is written down.
Yeah, you said you were gonna sing that part. You need to sing that part. And I'm like, sorry, I'll stay within the interval. My
That is
fault.
hilarious.
Yeah.
How have you found the reaction to your music? You're something of a throwback from a style standpoint.
Good word.
You don't fit the pop mold. You don't fit the rock mold. Yeah,
it's weird.
Are places that you try to play and places when you're trying to sell your music? Are you finding a niche?
A lot of people, like I said, are still pretty receptive to it. Like I said, a lot of them are kind of like angry women that are like, "Oh my God, you like spoke to me." Like I feel like you said everything that I've wanted to say like forever. And again, that kind of comes from the bluntness of it.
And I mean, a great compliment to hear that.
Yeah, it is. Especially from like, I have a lot of girls that like my music that do not like anything instrumental. Like they listen to rap. Or they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, when they all of a sudden like me, it's kind of like, do you
Don't
like
hear
me
lyrics.
because you know me? Or, like,
Or it speaks
does
to
it
them,
kind of,
yeah.
again, I think it's just something that's been around for so long, like that sound, but you get little tiny pockets of it, like, all about that bass. Or something
I was
where
gonna say, they do
it's
sample
influenced.
it in modern music.
Yeah,
so.
but you don't have a lot of people that still really do that are popular. I think a lot of it though too is that I don't care if I'm popular. I don't necessarily care if people like me. Like I don't necessarily care to friggin' play shows here and play shows there and like blah blah. Like it sounds really selfish, but I play music for me. And
Are you trying to make a living
awesome.
at it though?
absolutely not.
No.
No, I mean if something came along and it was just kind of like the too good to be true, whatever else I would. But I'd rather be working for a paycheck than waiting to win the lottery. If I could quote Bright Eyes on that one. But it's true, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I find a lot of people that are musicians and stuff are just really hoping for that break. But if you ever talk to somebody who actually did make it and was really popular or whatever else, they're just like, man, it was just luck. Like, we just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And it was only our second show or, something to that effect. But I find there's some people that really, really try to plug it really, really hard that they forget about
Like,
the
exhaust
other parts of
themselves.
life where it's like, you know what, yeah, you still need to feed yourself. Like, I don't want to be a bum. I've dated a lot of musicians that were that way, where it was kind of like, oh, I just want to stay at home and play music every day. And I'm like, well, that's great, but who's going to pay the rent?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
that is a
I've got a really good job and whatever else, but I also don't want to get to the point where I'm playing my songs so much that I don't like them anymore. You know,
Fair
like,
enough. Yeah, we don't want you to just
Yeah.
like the song. That's always like that.
but like, imagine every time the Bare Naked Ladies play If I Had $1 Million. Like, every time I hear that song, I want to
Man,
blow my
if you were
brains out,
getting
and I don't have
paid
to
$1
play it.
million to play that song, I'd be okay.
I don't know. I don't know if you could pay me enough money. Like,
I'm gonna. I
and I was a
disagree.
hairstylist for 10 years. There were some people that, like, there were some clients that I had that they weren't worth it. Like, it was just, like, honestly, like, I have really sharp scissors in my hands. I could just end this all right now.
It seems like the patience. You don't have too much patience for some things that are not worth your time.
No, I find I don't have a lot of patience for, like, crappy people. Like, I try to really pride myself on kind of having good character and, even just the basics, like, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, like, to that effect. So a lot of the times I don't have a lot of patience for people who do lie a lot.
Right.
Or,
Or it's
give
not
me...
true. You seem to be a
Or
very true
miserable
person.
about, 100 things they can't control or that type of thing. So a lot of the time, like, people, like, really, really pissy. I had a girl one night at the restaurant that was going on, like, why do I have to be the reliable one? Everyone calls in sick, and I'm the one that has to cover. And I looked at her, I was like, you know what? That's a great quality to have. And she felt like a complete idiot.
And a good point. It's great.
I'm not saying I don't complain, because I do, but like, when I complain, it's about things I can't do anything about. Like,
Yes.
this is it, and, like, I gotta deal with it, but, like, man, it sucks.
It's
Are
a
you
strong
happy?
character.
Are you happy?
Am I happy?
Very question. What a question to
We're
end
getting
the night
deep
with.
here.
Are you happy?
I'd say, like, anyone to me would know I'm, like, an upbeat person, It kind of depends on the scenario and that. I've always joked and, like, I've always had this, like, underlying bitterness where, like, I make jokes about being bitter. So it's kind of like a happy bitter.
Very sarcastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Exactly.
Well, let's just ask
I would definitely say I'm happy at this point in my life. Yes. Yes.
You've had women come and praise your music and say
Yeah.
it's really connected with them because of the anger that they find in it, or that
Yeah.
it matches up with the feelings they're having.
Yeah.
And yet you're not necessarily writing it from a place of anger, or are you?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them, yes. Like, to be honest with you, almost all these songs you're going to hear today, I've, like, after I basically went through a whole friggin' emotional breakdown, in a sense.
All right,
So this was
did come
me
from some kind of
getting it all off
emotional
my
suffering?
chest. Absolutely.
Like a lot of great art does.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not coming,
For
if
sure.
you're faking the suffering, it's not going to be as
Yeah.
good as that,
People aren't going
right?
to be digging that.
You can't make it up.
I just find a lot of music, you know, a lot of pop singers and women and whatever else, they tend to do this like, oh, I can't survive without you. And like, oh, I'm going to find someone like you. And like, I need you. And like, blah, blah, blah. Whereas like, mine's kind of like, if I ever say that, like, just kill me.
Okay, I'll slap you.
Right? Like, that's what cheats and chumps is. It's like, if I said I missed you, I wanted to kiss you. Well, like, rip these lips from my face to save me the disgrace. Like, it's one of those, like, I don't need that.
Strong
So
lady.
it's more of like that, I don't know,
these
Beyonce strong.
No, it's good. It's
Fight her booty.
BexSoulier is strong. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Bex, we're flat out of time.
We are.
Before we go though, where can people find your music? Are you online?
I'm on SoundCloud, so you can look up BexSoulier, BexSoulier. It's one word. Just picture me when I used to have cool hair. I've got a couple videos on YouTube, but I don't normally advertise those.
Not that proud of them.
It's not that I'm not proud of them. It's just
They're cute. Stop.
they're a couple years old or that type of a thing. So I just feel like, well, those songs have changed since then. And I feel like I've kind of evolved since. So I don't necessarily want to put that as but my SoundCloud has everything right from the beginning to end, which is also kind of funny. I have a couple rounds that I wrote.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them on there.
That's
Which just blows my mind. Like, I had a friend that wrote a round, and I was like, man, how'd you do that? And I was so jealous. So I, like, sat at my house for, like, 3 days. Being like, I'm going to do this. And then I wrote 2 and just waved it in his face. I wrote 2 rounds.
Good girl.
How about that?
Just a little competitive.
Just a bit.
not a
Bex,
bad
it's been a
thing.
real pleasure having you on here.
Thank you.
Very,
Yes,
very
thanks
for awesome.
artist. Really
Appreciate being here. It's awesome,
Great
guys.
job.
Are you playing anywhere coming up?
Not solo.
Not solo. Okay, so
My Bad Luck Social Distortion
Oh,
Band
yeah.
is playing December 17th at the Fox Lounge in Barrie.
Oh, you're on that show? Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super, super fun. I like
Glenn
to...
The whole
Poirier-
weekend is
Glenn
a
Poirier on
festival.
guitar, that's
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
it's very cool.
Glenn and
got
Adam Vetter
Adam
and Chris Farah and John Lee Carrier too, and then myself. So
That's
Wicked
fantastic.
band.
and sometimes Kaylin Fitzgerald, who's in a band
Beaver
called
Slap.
Beaver Slap.
I
and-
wanted them to play my birthday
Yeah,
so bad.
she played with us for a bit and
Ah.
then just kind of dwindled. So
All right, so we gotta take a song out of here.
Mm-hmm.
What song should we play, Bex?
well, since we're talking about how I play music about being bitter, this is basically a song I wrote because I was having a conversation with a friend about Sarah Barry Ellis, who was
That
told.
was one of the first times I learned love song.
Yeah,
on
she was
piano.
told that she had to write a love song.
Yeah.
So she said, if I write you a love song because you asked for it,
I'm not
because you
gonna
need
ask-
it.
yeah.
So this was kind of my, like, if I had to write a love song. So it's called If I'm Lucky, and it's probably the least bitter. I would say least bitter. There's a bitter edge to it, but there's, like, this, like, hope in this, like, if I'm lucky, this is what I'll
it's
get.
a little hope.
But this is one of my favorites, live off the floor. I play a little bit of harmonica, too.
All right, this is If I'm Lucky by BexSoulier on ArtsTalk 102.7 Chop FM.
If I had to write a love song, it would be about a man I haven't met. Lips have never kissed, no one I've ever met. If I had to write a love song, it would be about the man I've yet to meet. No, we've never touched, no, he's never said too much. If I had to write a love song, it would be about another couple, so I wouldn't feel so cheapened when my mountains turned into rubble. And it's not what you think. I'm sure I felt true love before, but it seems to shrink down to nothing. It's on the brink of extinction these days. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll find somebody with some honesty. And maybe if he's good enough, I can write a song about loving him and play it again and again and again. felt true love before, but it seems to shrink down to nothing. It's on the brink of extinction anyways. And it's not negative, it's just from what I've seen. So I've come to believe that something that seems so good might not turn out the way it's good. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll find somebody with some loyalty. And maybe if he's good enough, I can write a song about loving him and play it again and again. And maybe if I'm lucky, I can find somebody with some sensibility.